Well, good afternoon. I've just stepped down the side of this embankment to get out of the wind, and I wanted to share something with you that comes up quite a lot when I'm working with clients who I'm coaching with. And these clients are usually hypnotherapists and coaches. And the one thing that seems to stand out is that they quite often feel like a round peg being tried to be forced into a square hole, because they come out of their training and then they realise that they've got to become visible and market themselves, and quite often that feels quite alien to them. And then they're giving lots of disinformation and misinformation about you should do this and you should do that, and they just do not feel aligned with any of that, and it creates a lot of frustration, a lot of overwhelm. They start getting imposter syndrome and all these things kick in. And yet there's a much easier way of approaching this, and this easier way is for them to remember, to remind themselves why they started this journey in the first place. And then when they remind themselves about why they started this journey, it may have been that they had some therapy that helped them with a situation, and they were so impressed that they wanted to help others, and so they had a complete career change. I mean, how brave and noble is that? And so it means I'm talking to some really incredibly special human beings. And it's important that if that's you, you should remind yourself of that you are an incredible human being, and that you've taken quite often this leap of faith into this new career. And yet behind it all there is a wisdom. There is a part of you that knows that you're doing the right thing, and that part of you that knows that you're doing the right thing has guided you on this journey. Now, it's not going to guide you on this journey, get you to the right hypnosis training and all of those things. It's not going to make all those things happen and then just leave you hanging. I mean, why would it do that? That isn't what wisdom does. That's not what the universe does. What the universe does is it helps you get to where you want or need to be with your business. But there's a disconnect. There's a reason why you might feel like the wrong shaped peg being forced into the wrong shaped hole. And quite often that's because of the way that you start to think about your business. You start to think about what you should or shouldn't be doing. And what happens is that interferes with all of the messages. I just noticed them interested shaped clouds there behind me, almost like the skeleton of a fish off a cartoon. Anyway, as you know, I get distracted on these videos. There is a wisdom behind what brought you to this place, to be a therapist, to help people. And during that journey of helping people, then you'll have had experiences with people where you'll have helped them, and you'll have felt an alignment, you'll have felt a good feeling. And those good feelings are to be taken notice of. Those good feelings are signposts that you're on the right track. And so what I want you to do is think about those feelings that have been good, that have felt aligned. It may be that you went for therapy and you got helped with something and you were so impressed with it that you started studying it, and that's your particular area where you really enjoy working with people. This fly is attacking me here. Am I stood in its spot? Let's see if I move it, if it stops bugging me. And so if you found yourself working with certain types of people and you took great joy in that and you had some great results, then there's a sign. There's a sign that might be the case that you start off in that zone, that area of work, because you're getting good feelings about it. And as I say, those good feelings are not to be ignored. Now, if you're getting good feelings about something and then somebody tells you otherwise, and out of insecurity you change directions, then what I'm saying is that you're actually turning away from the right shaped hole that you fit in. Now, it might be that you come straight out of your training and you're not stood next to the right shaped hole initially, but a little turn in a certain direction and you'll find that it's right in front of you and you'll just slot straight in. And it might take a little bit of time, but all these things are about taking the journey and staying on the journey. But if you start listening to people who tell you otherwise, who give you a cookie cutter approach and you've got to do this and you've got to do that, and it doesn't feel right, again, the feeling, if it doesn't feel right, then the chances are you're actually moving around like this and you're going to end up facing in the opposite direction that you was facing in the first place, when all you needed to do was really take a little side step, a step forward, or just change the angle slightly. I know these are all metaphors, but for me it's the best way of describing this. And when you find yourself really connecting with those good feelings about what you're doing, then keep on that track. If you're doing some practice sessions with people around a certain area of issue that you're helping with, then you can always test different ideas and just to see, am I getting the same feeling from working with a quit smoking client as what I would with an anxiety client maybe? And it might be that you get a completely different feeling about it. And then you might test something else and you might get a completely different feeling, and that might bring you back into alignment. These things need to be tested. But what I'm saying is that the fact that you've taken this journey in the first place, and the real travesty I see is that so many people come through the training and then they just drop off because they feel as though they're not congruent, they're not aligned, it's not authentic for them. And really, there was that authenticity there all along, underneath the surface of those insecure thoughts that might be just limiting beliefs from other people or what we've put on ourselves. So, trust in the process, come through the training, find yourself into a space where now it's like the big wide world of business. If you need to get a coach and you can afford a coach, then get some coaching. But if you're going to get some coaching from somebody who has been in the trenches. Get some coaching from somebody who's been in business and's got some battle scars from being in business. Not somebody who's read a book and has loads of theory. Because that's not going to help you to transport yourself, to project yourself there into this beautiful future of your business. Go with somebody who has experience and knows how to convey that experience and help you and support you. And sometimes it's a bit of a beauty pageant. You've got to speak to a few coaches to see who you're really aligned with. That's really important as well. Everybody who comes to me to have a discovery call doesn't end up working with me. And that's a two-way decision. It really is. Sometimes I feel that they would be better working with someone else. Sometimes they just don't feel that alignment. Maybe they're a little bit more analytical in the way that they approach things, and they find that my kind of free-flowing creative style isn't quite for them, and that's fine. Because I don't want them to change the way they are. I want them to be aligned with how they feel that they will work best. And all I want them to do is to find their way home to that place that they recognise as being the perfect place for them and their business. And some people say, I want to earn 6 figures a year. Other people say, I just want a couple of clients every week. It varies. Again, there's no set rules. But it's important that whatever you're doing, it gives you a good feeling. Now, all the work that I do gives me a good feeling. I love my job. I come to work to play. I don't come to work to work. That's my little philosophy. And I don't mean that flippantly. I mean it because that's how I feel. I feel playful in my work. I absolutely love what I do, and I'm super grateful. And that's the feeling that I want for anyone who's coming into the arena of hypnotherapy or coaching or any type of therapy. I want them to love what they do. So they turn up to work every day and they're just absolutely filled with joy and feel blessed and grateful. That's my wish for them, because I know it's possible once they feel aligned, that they're on purpose and that they've got those good feelings. So, yeah, that's my message. It was only going to be 2 minutes and it's ended up being 10. But anyway, I'm still being attacked by these flies while I'm out here. Have a fabulous day, and I hope that resonates with you. And I hope it gives you some support if you was one of those round pegs being tried to be stuck into a square hole.